Painter here. How are you doing today? Is everything going okay? Okay, good. I'm happy that you came in and you showed up to the Mad Painter show. I don't even know what I have this labeled, but it's going to be the Mad Painter show as of now because this is what I'm saying. So tonight's subject is, do you know what you don't know about you? Have you actually taken time out to get to know you, to date you, to know what it is to love you? I mean, aside from all the things that we desire and what we feel and what we think we want right now, I mean, have we gone past the temporary things, the lustful things? Have we? Now is the time to take a little bit out to spend some time with ourselves and get to know you. Well, Mad Painter, how do we go about doing that? I got some of those answers for you. Okay. Do you know how the saying goes, you are what you eat? And it's kind of the same as you are what you think. So we're out here, we eat all this junk food and we eat all this crap and we expect our bodies to be up to par, to look like some video vixen or some ball player, but we haven't actually put in the work to look like that unless you went to go pay Dr. So-and-so to put in the work. I mean, that's totally different. And I mean, do you, boo? I ain't knocking it. But at the same time, there's still, we have to be feeding ourselves good things, feeding ourselves, and also the things that we're putting on our minds. So it's like, in considering the things that we eat, if we eat bad things and we see our body goes bad, do you understand that goes the same way when we are watching television, listening to shows or the radio or whatever? Our mind is also eating the things that we are receiving through these different portals. So it's like, what are you feeding yourself? Now, I know I'm going back and forth in between like eating food and stuff that you're feeding yourself as far as your mind. But let me just paint the picture here. When I was a big girl, I'm still a little, slim, thick, right? But when I was like, I was 200, 210, 214, something like that. So when I was much bigger, I was eating more comfort food. I was eating a lot of sugars, a lot of milks, like dairy stuff, a lot of processed foods. That also made me feel sluggish. I didn't feel like super creative. It had me feeling a type of way, which also had me thinking a type of way. But once I changed my mind on how I wanted to feel and how I wanted to see myself, that made me adjust how I was eating. Now in the process, I was still eating pizza. I was still eating pizza and ice cream, but I was putting in that work on my body. And it really got to a point where my body was like, do it again. Eat another mother effing pizza, I swear. And so it got to a point where my body was starting to tell me something, where my mind was like, yo, that pizza look fire, let's eat it. And my body was like, I'll kill you if you do. And so it's like, so now that the story kind of plays along in where I'm going as far as in what we feeding ourselves. So when you get the main thing of like what I said as far as the anger controlling you video, and please, because I constantly keep forgetting this, like, subscribe, share. If you feel any of this information is important to you, it may just be important to someone else, so please share it. Did I say subscribe? Yeah, okay, anyway, I just did right there. So what you want to pay attention to is now being more aware of things that trigger you. Things that when you are recognizing your body is feeling a certain kind of way, when your mind is thinking a certain kind of way. So the way that we're going about and bettering ourselves, which is getting to our best selves, is a process. And if you notice, as far as with this eating thing and thinking thing, that chewing, that all of that is a process that it is going through, that is taking time for your body to either gain or get rid of, or a mixture of both. And you have to consider, if all of it is waste, Bro, that's not what we own. So right now, because what I've been saying in the past, if you've been following me, we are on abundant thinking. We are on abundant speaking. We're not on that lack. So because of where I'm going with this, I happen to look up a couple of words for us for the sake of what we're talking about, right? So I happen to look up and I'm just Googling this stuff. You know, I have plenty of books here, but I'm just Googling this, and I happened to Google selfish. Now, before I go into the definition of this, I just said we're on abundant thinking, right? Not lack. So, selfish, the first word that comes in selfish, lacking. Like that is huge. That should make you pay attention. This is a talk that you should have with yourself when you're having your by yourself time. Am I really being selfish? You gotta be true, you know what I'm saying? You got to be true to yourself, because if you can't be true to yourself, baby, ain't nobody here but you. You're the only one experience. I mean, you got people and things that you do may affect people, but you know how you feel for real. So anywho, we go back to this selfish word, right? Selfish, lacking consideration of others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. Okay, let's take a look into selfish, right? It temporarily gets us what we want. It feels good for a hot effing second. It feels good for a second. Later on down the line, it'll have you thinking like this and have you thinking like that. It becomes a distraction, because not only are you thinking later on down the line of how you could have done something better if you're really reflecting on something, but it'll also have you thinking of how somebody didn't treat you or how you were treated some type of way, because baby, that selfishness, it's gonna reflect. So people will eventually start seeing the selfishness is not want to be bothered with you, and you're not recognizing because you are bringing that selfish energy and they don't want to be bothered with it. You're thinking they're treating you some type of way, and it's like you doing it on your own because of that vibe you bringing. So I'm gonna go to selfless, concerned more with the needs and wishes of others than one's own. Okay, I understand some of the people that are listening to this, they put a lot of people's needs ahead of their own. Now with this, you have got to take time. When you are looking at yourself and taking time for self, you have to take time for self. So we do want to be selfless people in how we're going about doing things, but there are boundaries that need to be set up, because you can't just give your all to everybody and you don't have anything to continue to give. So now we're going to look at how are you going to go about, where's my papers? How we're going to go about changing some of these selfish habits, changing and getting to know better who we are. Because the more that we understand who we are, we also have, we put more value on ourselves. We're less likely to do the things that create harm in our life and also create harm in other lives, because we better understand how to love ourselves. So part of that is, one, practice paying attention to your body and feelings. When you are aware of certain things, so like I said in the other video, the angry video, as far as in washing your hands, when you are aware of certain feelings, that gives you the benefit to say, hold up, do I want to feel like this? No, I don't. You are already making up your mind in going in this walk that you are not your emotions. You are not your emotions. Your emotions are like signals to let you know certain things. And in those times, you have to look at those things. Is this something because I'm trying to control something I'm angry about, something that you have to learn how to start being accountable. We have to be accountable for what it is and the part that we play in the things. And if we are allowing somebody to anger us, that's allowing control. That's allowing for someone else to control us. Do we really want somebody else to control us? Because first of all, we need to learn how to get control of ourselves. And the better we understand how to get control of ourselves, the less likely we're going to be trying to control somebody else, because we're going to start understanding that in that discipline and in control of ourselves, there is a freedom to that. Okay, so the next one, the minute you recognize your negative thoughts, you have to replace them. How do you go about replace? So you start hearing stuff, your negative self starts to come in. Check it, stop it. If the hand washing thing, so now once you are aware of it and how to replace it. If you don't already have something positive to replace it with, start listening to people, start reading things that are gonna fill your life with something that's gonna help you grow, something that's gonna help you have more positive thinking, something that's going to inspire you to where you're trying to go. Everything has to be purposeful. If this stuff is lacking, is causing you to lack, you have to start being aware of the things that's making you either has lacking language or lack attitude. And the minute you are aware of that, start making purposeful changes for those things. And it's you have to set intentions to make habits of changing, because you got to start from somewhere. So the next one is, don't be afraid to spend time alone. You are, well, Jesus is mine. But it takes time to get to that relationship if you're not already there, or if you're not. So it's like, you have to start getting the practice of being your friend. Start telling yourself the truth. Start loving yourself. Take time out and actually talk to yourself and get to know yourself. If you are one of those people that embarrass easily, don't take your butt outside and start wanting to have a full-blown conversation with, what you want to eat today? Well, I was thinking about, if we had some waffles. So, it's okay to sit in the house and actually make your house smell clean. Baby, I apologize. That's the next. Clean up your place. Make your place a place of peace. So your thoughts won't be all scattered. Get your actual place organized so this too can start being organized. So when you take time out to speak with yourself, or to just get to journal. Sometimes if you don't want to have that conversation and you feel that feels weird, write it out. Write out questions and wait for a response. If you're talking to yourself, be willing to listen to yourself. So, in order for you to get to know what you don't know about you, you have to be willing to seek it out. You have to be willing to ask. You have to be willing to take time in those quiet moments, even when you don't want to be bothered with you. Those moments you're like, I'm bored. That is the best time to spend time with you. You are your best entertainer. This is the best way to find out what your hobbies are. What are the things that interest you? This is just like you're getting to know you, and the time that you're willing to get to know you makes you an even better person for your mate, because now you understand what you are when you come to the table, and you'll also have better recognition of your partner and know better and have a better understanding of how to appreciate them, because when you love you and understand your value, you also understand others' value and love them even better. So, get to know the things about you that you don't know. Okay? Be your best you. Have a great day.